Hello, my name Hello, my name is Randy Abdallah, and this is my IB painting presentation on the locomotive by Reginald Marsh. So this painting was painted in 1935 during the Great Depression. It takes place in New York City, and I'm going to analyze the painting real quick. Just in the front of the painting, there's the large train with the large smoke trail, and it looks like as the train is almost moving due to the smoke trail falling behind, and the gears almost look like they're in motion under the train. And if we look at the right bottom of the photo, there is a man just staring up at the train. Due to its large stature, he's just in awe of how large it is. And also in the back, there are the silos with smoke coming out of them. There are also people on top of those silos covering their faces from all the smoke. And in the middle of the photo, there's a man going down the stairs and is about to get covered by the smoke. And this painting just shows the hardships of all the hardworking men working on a daily basis during the Great Depression in order to keep the economy going and providing for their families. So, overview of my presentation is the life and times of the painter, movements and historical background, cultural context, place and illusion, sources, assumed reader and genre, you as the reader, and major question. So, the life and times of the painter. So, Reginald Marsh was born in Paris on March 14th, 1898, and both his parents were artists, which may have influenced him to become an artist as well. And at 2 years old, Marsh's family moved to Nutley, New Jersey, and his father bought a studio home that was on a street full of artists, which also may have influenced the way Marsh thought and painted. And also, he attended Yale Art School and graduated in 1920. And this is him pictured on the right. Movements and historical background. One of the major movements that was going on during the time he painted this painting was the social realism movement, which began in 1934, and the painting was painted in 1935. And this brought attention to the real problems of social and political conditions, specifically the Great Depression in this case, which was the worst economic depression, leaving people in panic. And Marsh really wanted to show what the people were going through, and he mainly painted just the daily life of people in New York. And also, Germany passed the Nuremberg laws and took away the civil rights of Jews, and this was also going on during the time of the painting. Cultural context. The New Deal was created by President Roosevelt to ease the suffering of every American affected by the Great Depression, and the locomotive shows the industrialized culture of America, and social realism exposes the flaws in cultures, and specifically the American culture, the industrialization, showing that not everything is good in life, because for the workers that they have to deal with the hardships of a middle class job, working in the factories with the smoke and all that, and how the days are always gloomy. And it shows just how the people are affected by the Great Depression, and that there was a way for them to find an outlet to release their emotions. Place and illusions. The setting of the locomotive is in New York, United States, and it is placed in the U.S. because it shows the working class citizens in the industrialized areas of New York, and it shows their true hardships to survive during the Great Depression and provide for their family. So it is a very depressing picture. The painting, that's what I got from it when I first looked at it. It was very gloomy, and it shows the grittiness of the working class citizens during the Great Depression. And some sources that the author must need in order to paint this painting one is the social realism movement, which is to paint real things that point out problems in the social and economic conditions, and specifically the Great Depression, which he also needed to know and explore, and industrialized cities of America. And he would need to know this as a source because wanting to paint the background and showing what the actual industrialized cities looked like. And the train's detail is also another source because the detail on this painting is very precise and it makes the train look very realistic. And also, he would need to know the daily life in New York just to see how the people acted, what they would wear, and where they would be. And the assumed reader and genre. The assumed reader of The Locomotive is the people of the US who have suffered greatly during the Great Depression and realize the problems of social and economic conditions during this time. So what this means is that the audience of this painting is the people who actually suffered in the Great Depression, and it puts their lives in perspective, showing what maybe their husbands or dads were doing for them during the Great Depression just to provide for them. And the genre of this painting is social realism, which, as I said earlier, just exposes the flaws of social and economic conditions. And you, as the reader, when looking at the painting, it shows me how important the train was and still is in society. And it also shows the daily lives of workers during the time of the Great Depression. The sky looks very polluted, and the trail of smoke is causing this polluted look, which gives it the whole painting a gloominess look, to show how depressing it was back then during the Great Depression, because people were actually panicking and did not know what to do. And it shows how trains were used for industrial purposes as well as commercial. And this painting actually points out like how important trains are for people in the US. People might use them to commute or to transport products across the United States, and the train was a very important invention to the US. And major question. So the question I'm going to be answering is how the painting reflects elements from my contextual evidence, and the locomotive painting reflects elements from my contextual analysis, such as the industrialization, the working class hardships during the Great Depression, and finally exposing the flaws of social and economic conditions in the US during the time under Roosevelt. Many people were panicking and did not know what to do, and this painting shows them that the real problem is the government, and that they're behind the social and economic condition in the US, and that they are in control of it. Thank you for watching my painting presentation on The Locomotive by Reginald Marsh.